Welcome to my channel. My name is Kate the Seventh, and I'll be your host today.
There was a comment. Let me see if I can find it, chat. Okay. So Alberry said, I don't have any Void Hunters and I can't full clear anything. Only in the early days I was able to S rank the old kind of Shiyu, but after Miyabi I couldn't anymore. And then this guy asked a team investment, and then Alberry told him. And once I saw the Qingyi, I was like, ah, shit, that's the fucking problem. That's the fucking problem. He's using Qingyi. I said, your Seed Haru team is being hella held back by Qingyi. And then like I explained why. And then she said, wait, Qingyi's the real issue. And then she came back and said, okay, wow, that's so sad. Qingyi's the problem. I tried a Piper team again, only 23k. So I'll have to wait for Arya. However, I took Dylan out and put in Hugo and got 28k. And then he said he put Dylan with Haru's Seed and got 25k. So like he immediately cleared the moment he took out Qingyi. I really like Qingyi. I hope she gets a buff, bro. She needs it. She needs it badly. She holds back a lot of teams rather than helping. But I really do like Qingyi, so hopefully she gets a buff.
Patch 2.6 is finally here, and our first angel has finally come. And alongside her, the long-awaited rerun of Ishwin. And in the second half, we will have Yuzuha and her second angel, Arya. But considering that the last patch had a new Void Hunter, your pulls might be looking oof. But don't worry, I got you back. Because with lootbar.gg, you could be saving big today. As if you were to click on my exclusive link in the description below, new users can save up to 23%, and all pulls will always be at a discounted rate. And after using Lootbar myself for over 2 years now, I can assure you that your pulls are safe. So if you were trying to become a Delulu, why not save some money today? And all you have to do is click on the bundle that you want, enter your UID and region, and within seconds, it will arrive in game. So be sure to check out the link in the description below. And with that out the way, let's get you back to the video.
But like, how the fuck would you even... Because like when you come to Qingyi, right? And you read her kit, like obviously we all know Qingyi's all about the stun damage multiplier, right? She's an on-field stun agent. She takes a lot of field time. And she's supposed to give you a really big buff and stun. Well, the big issue is she does technically give a bigger buff than some other stun agents. In stun, she does not buff shit out of stun. What, it's like only King of the Summit that she buffs for out of stun, and then even then a lot of the teams you're using her in can't even take advantage of that King of the Summit buff out of stun because again Qingyi takes so much fucking field time. Her gameplay just doesn't fit in the current landscape of the game where you need to balance damage inside and out of stun and also building up resources out of stun, like pre-stun, right? Building up resources. Her gameplay, like, it's really fun. Don't get me wrong. I think Qingyi is extremely fun. She's actually one of my favorite characters to play as a DPS. I think if Qingyi was an attack agent, she'd be by far my favorite electric DPS because I just think her rotations as a DPS are just so much fun. But it's just unfortunate, man. I don't know how the fuck they're gonna buff her. Again, Qingyi does have very good mindscapes. She does. Her M1's good. Her M2 is solid. Her M4, we don't talk about it. Don't even read it. It's dog shit. But her M6 is one of the best in the game. They don't make stunners M6 like they do Qingyi anymore. So she does have very good mindscapes. But however, most players don't have mindscapes. Most players don't have that. So like that's not even like a fair take. Kinda. Maybe it kinda is, because you can eventually get her M1 for free. Even a free-to-play can technically eventually get her M1 for free. I know I've seen at least one free-to-play say that they've gotten 2 tickets and they used it on Qingyi's M1. So you can technically eventually get her M1 for free because she's in the shop. But still, that's still not a fair fair point in my opinion. Like that's most people don't most people are, it's either going to take them a very long time to get that, or they're just not going to choose Qingyi even if they do get the tickets, right? So I don't think that's a fair point in my honest opinion. But yeah, how do you buff Qingyi, bro? How do you buff her? I actually like her identity, like being an on-fielder, but it's so hard to balance getting resources you need for another DPS when Qingyi's hogging the field time. It's really difficult to balance. It's not impossible. It's not impossible. It's just really hard. And a lot of people who use Qingyi don't do that balance at all. They don't balance the field time properly to build up resources. They just stay on Qingyi until the enemy is stunned. So they end up going into stun a lot of times without resources. So yeah, man. I don't want them to take away her identity, but maybe one way. You know how you have to do 2 of her charge attacks to get the full buff? Maybe they make it where you only need 1 charge attack instead of 2. That way she's not like forced to stay on field all the time. Maybe you give her a slight buff out of stun. It doesn't have to be like a massive buff out of stun, but it could be something. That way, like, she's not having to 24/7 hog up the field time. I'm just throwing out ideas. I don't know what the fuck they're gonna do. I'm just throwing out ideas, and I'm saying it out loud to see if it sounds stupid or not. Maybe you just give her more damage. Maybe you can make Qingyi like a more competent sub DPS. Because I think it's fair. Like, if you want her to be an on-fielder, at least she's doing something. Like, I'm not saying she has to do like 30-40% of the team DPS, but like, if she could consistently do like 20, that's pretty significant. That's pretty significant damage output for a stunner. I don't like the idea of making her an off-fielder. That would just be basically completely changing the character's identity. There has to be a way to make her keep her identity, but also make her a lot better. There has to be a way. And I know they could do it. They're game developers. They could easily find a way to do it. I do like Qingyi a lot. What if her EBA tops off team resources so you're not punished for a rapid stun? But what resources you mean? Like, you mean like her EBA gives the team ER? Give her a stun extension? Okay. Give her a stun extension. Energy and decibels?
Let me finish my cup of hot water.
Honestly, like, making her give the team 1,000 decibels, that doesn't even sound broken anymore because of dialing it. And that honestly sounds balanced. So yeah, like, obviously, one thing that she does have is the hold EX. Like if you don't know, you can do tap EX on Qingyi, right? And it takes that much energy. But you can also do hold EX, and it takes that much energy. Like, the more energy you have, the more she can take for a hold EX, right? Some people don't know that. So I think that's actually kind of cool. Like, it's situational. Like, most of the time you would do the tap EX, but sometimes the hold EX can be nice. So I like that she has that option. She already gets her meter back from her ult. Like, if you use the meter and ult, that's not a problem. You said her EX could do a perfect dodge or parry. Oh, I actually kind of like that idea. Yeah, that should be kind of cool. I like that idea. It'd be like Alice, right? It'd be kind of like Alice's EX. A lot of people will say like this gives you carpal tunnel. But like, bro, I'm not even clicking my mouse that fast. And like, when I stop, it stops. Like, it's not even that bad. Like, I can keep it going for a very long time. I'm not even clicking my mouse that fast. I've never understood the The saying that she gives you carpal tunnel. Like, whenever I stop, she stops. Yeah, you can do it surprisingly slower than a lot of people think. You don't have to, like, rapidly press it. You just gotta have, like, a good rhythm. Maybe it's harder on mobile. I've never tried it on mobile. We got any mobile players who have played Qingyi? How is it on mobile? He said it's harder on controller, actually. Okay. I think it's not that bad on mouse. He said she should give an out of stun damage multiplier. That'd be very similar to Trigger, though, right? Yeah, she does just need to straight up buff more or more damage, 100%. Actually, like, with characters like Dylan and now Nongong being able to do, like, upwards between 15 and, like, it depends on the fight, one, because, like, it's not always this number, but, like, I know, like, Dylan can sometimes do between 15 and 20% of the team damage. Sometimes it's lower, depending on the fight. Like, sometimes you'll see Dylan do, like, less than 10%, but it just really depends on the fight. But with stunners like Dylan and Nongong coming out, and they can actually do, like, decent team DPS, like, you know, I think it's fair for, you know, the original on-field stunner to do just a little bit more damage. Like, again, it doesn't have to be, like, fucking wild, but I think it's fair. Like, just a little bit more, because anything, bro, anything helps, anything adds up, right? Like, increase her buffing, make her do a little bit more damage. You think she should give an attack buff, and you want her to inherit the DPS crit stats? That's similar to what Dylan does, right? You want her to do Sambi levels of damage as a stun agent? The fuck? I mean, I wouldn't complain, but that'd be kind of wild. Her damage on par with Dylan, yeah. That's completely fair. Aftershock wouldn't be bad on Qingyi. Aftershock would be disgusting on Qingyi, no. Like, that's completely... Like, I'm sorry, the answer to everything is not fucking Aftershock. Like, that's completely changing her identity. Just by doing that, no. You said, boss, how can Fufu be buffed without breaking the game?
Ready as I'll ever be.
How can Fufu be buffed? When she uses her ult, she becomes a tiger, and she becomes like a big mighty tiger, and she mauls the enemy. Yep, there you go. There you go, there's your answer. All right, back to the pole arm girl. The 3-section staff. She even has stuff in her kit, right, that like buffs damage, correct? Like buffs her own damage? Yeah, like look. Like she even has things in her kit, because this buffs her damage, buffs her chain attack, right? And then she has her additional ability that gives her 600 attack. But like she even has things in her kit that are supposed to buff her personal damage, but she still doesn't do a lot. Qingyi does very little of the team DP, like extremely little. So definitely increase her personal damage. If she's gonna be an on-fielder that takes a lot of field time, she should be doing more damage. And then simply her in-stun buffs just have to be better. I like the idea of a stun extension. I do like that idea. You can keep the stun damage multiplier the same and just add to it with other stuff. I wouldn't give her Death Shred, because her M1 already does that. That would kind of devalue M1. So you can give her a different buff. Someone said an attack buff. What if her additional ability... Yo, chat. What if her additional ability didn't just increase her attack by 600, but it also increased the team's attack by 600? What if it just increased the entire team's attack by 600? Yeah, she's giving crit damage to the Kingless Summit. She's giving stun damage multiplier. You can make this give the entire team 600 attack. You can increase her personal damage. Look, we're getting there. We're getting there. Like there's multiple ways you can go about buffing her. Just give her a res pin. Why not damage percent instead of 600 attack? It would depend on how much damage percent you'd have to. It would take a. Wait, how much damage percent would you have to give to beat 600 attack? Because you realize attack and damage percent and the damage multiplier are the same increases. So you would have to give an equal amount of damage percent or more to beat 600 attack. 60% on most teams, 25 if you have none. Yeah, it would depend on the team. And damage percent could actually just straight up be worse on a lot of teams too. Well, yeah, that's like kind of what we're talking about. Like, Yeah, like you don't need to be punished for her being on field for so long. That's kind of like what we're talking about, like on how to buff her. Because again, like that's why I went to that comment. Like that's why I went to this. That's how this whole like potential video even started. Because I went to this comment and I was like, "Yo, Qingyi's the one holding you back." And the moment they took Qingyi off, they cleared. Crazy. The moment they didn't use Qingyi, they cleared. So like, yeah, Qingyi's in a rough spot. She's one of the agents that are in a pretty rough spot right now. She has Ishwen, I guess. Ishwen Qingyi's still very good, but not gonna lie, a lot of that is just because Ishwen's very good. But yeah, she still has the Ishwen team. She's kind of just straight up of detriment to Juyen now. You know what's crazy, chat? When Trigger first got leaked, I was saying, yo, there's a chance that Trigger is better than Qingyi for Juyen, and so many people were saying I was wrong, that there's no way, because Juyen was an off-field burst DPS. Fast forward to today, Trigger, Astra, and I'm always assuming Nicole is the last slot, but Trigger, Astra, Dylan, hell, even Fufu outperforms Qingyi for Juyen. Like, brother. Turns out I was right the entire time. So yeah, Qingyi's probably one of the limited S ranks that need it the most. I'd make an argument that she needs it more than Jane. Because at least with Jane, like, Jane has Yuzuha teams that I'm still seeing do pretty well in in-game. Jane has the Alice team, especially if you vertically invest. Jane is getting Nongong. All anomaly agents are getting Nongong, and I saw some people doing Jane, Nongong, Yuzu. I don't think Jane's additional was active in that team, but people were still getting good scores just because Nongong's a very good agent. So like, Jane at least can, you know, rely on new characters, while Qingyi is supposed to be a supporter. Like, she needs it, bro. Yeah, I do think Qingyi needs it a lot more than Jane. Hopefully they can help the Clank. Hopefully they don't neglect her, even though she's in the shop. My worry is that because she's in the shop, if they do buff her, it won't be a good buff because her mindscapes are pretty good. That's my worry. I hope they don't do that. I hope if they do choose to buff Qingyi, that they actually give her a solid buff for M0. Because I'll be fucked up if they make the buff worse just because she has decent mindscapes. So hopefully they don't do that. But yeah, other than that, man, yeah, hopefully they help with the Clank.